Greetings and welcome, people. So here we are on day 2 of the Shakedown rides, or Shakedown ride number 2, whichever you prefer. This is the day after the previous video was recorded, and that one was, as I think I stated, if I didn't I should have done, that I wanted that one to be just some laps around my very local roads. I didn't want to take myself off out into the middle of the countryside. First time taking the bike back out on the road after getting it all back together, as it were. I mean, it wasn't exactly a major piece of work, just sort of routine servicing. But I thought it would be a little bit presumptuous and arrogant to assume that absolutely nothing could go wrong. And touch wood, hopefully nothing has gone wrong, or nothing I can see. Babe is running beautifully. And even the Scott oiler has decided to spring back to life. It obviously was the vacuum connection that I mentioned that had come adrift. It was obviously broken before, because I thought the Scott oiler metering unit had backed up, and I was going to have to either replace it or go to a different solution entirely. But thankfully it's now working again, which is something of a relief. And the other thing I forgot to add to the list of items, or at least I think I forgot to add to the list of items that Babe has been treated to over the last few weeks. I'll probably add it as a caption on yesterday's video. But Babe has now got a new Motobat AGM battery. The previous battery was AGM, and I think I worked out that had been in place for about 7 years, and basically the long layoff, 8 months layoff with random and intermittent charging by a battery tender charger finally killed it off. I think I omitted to charge it for about 3 months. I tried to use the recovery mode, repair mode on my battery charger to bring it back, but it was too far gone. The voltage had dropped too low, and yeah, that was that. So luckily I managed to find somewhere, I can't remember where, I'll put the details up if I can find them, selling the appropriate Motobat battery for, I think it was £75, which was something of a bargain. Yes, I know I could have gone for lithium or some such, but I was already spending enough, and the AGM battery that I had before worked well enough, so I thought, well, what's the problem with going for another AGM? Yes, they're a lot lighter than, a lot heavier than lithium, but lithium is so delicate in how you have to make sure it doesn't discharge beyond a certain level, or it doesn't overcharge, doesn't get too hot, doesn't get too cold. No, I'm not really worried about that. And to be honest, if I wanted to save, I think the difference between a lithium battery and a lead acid battery is something like £7 or £8, so about 3 to 3.5 kilograms, something like that. So yeah, it's not an insignificant amount of weight, but when you think of the overall weight of this bike, which is about 260, 270 kilograms, and the weight of the big fat ugly lump on top of it, which last time I weighed was about 92 kilograms. Yeah, basically 2 or 3 kilograms in a battery ain't going to make an awful lot of odds. I think I've actually saved more than that by putting myself on a gentle diet over the last 3 or 4 months. Basically all I did was decided to cut out in between meals snacking. That doesn't mean I don't ever do it, but I certainly do it a lot less than I used to. Previously, the average day would see me visiting the biscuit barrel 4, maybe 5 times, and it was always 2 biscuits at a time. So yeah, I stopped doing that. I still have the occasional biscuit, and for any Americans watching, that's British for cookie. In case you're thinking, what the hell is he doing eating biscuits during the day? And I do apologise for that absolutely awful attempt at an American accent. So yes, that was probably the biggest ticket item of all of the service and replacement work I did on the bike. There is still stuff to do. Believe me, when you ride a bike that's nearly 30 years old with over 60,000 miles on the clock, there's always something to do, and I don't just mean the consumables like tyres and chains and brakes and things. There's various bits of paintwork on the handlebars and things that I'm going to attempt to address myself. And yes, the bike would really benefit from new tyres, and I would like to replace the silencers or mufflers for our friends across the Atlantic. I have had my eye on some 350mm Delcovics in stainless steel for quite a long time. The only problem is I don't have a problem as such with the silencers that are on the bike. I had to replace one about 3-4 years ago because it rotted out, and I replaced it with basically a new old stock genuine Triumph one, and it looks pretty good. I'm happy with it, but I think the Delcovics would look, sound and perform better. But I think last time I'd looked, they were about £250 a pair, so not outrageously expensive considering that's for both silencers, and they do look the part. But yeah, we'll see whether Father Christmas is going to be nice to me this year. See whether I've been a good enough boy. But anyway, now that I've got the chicken run, the close to home run out of the way, I'm now bringing Babe out on a longer run further out into the countryside, going one of my usual loops. So it's roads I know, so if I do get into any trouble and I need to summon assistance, I should be fairly easily able to let them know where I am. But I do have to say that since I fixed that vacuum takeoff connector and replaced the air filter and put the new plugs in, and of course did the oil and filter, it was quite a shopping list of work. I think Babe is running beautifully. Like I say, 64,000 mile, nearly 30-year-old bike. You could forgive it for being a little tired, shall we say. I know I said in the video that I made yesterday, the previous video to this one, that I have been rather neglectful of my bike in some areas. It's always had an oil and filter change, it's always had super unleaded fuel, it's always been kept clean, brakes, things like that have always been done, but getting to the spark plugs on this bike is a pain. Servicing the air filter on this bike is a pain. Doing anything with the carburetors on this bike is a pain. But hey, there you go. And as with anything automotive, stuff is expensive. Yes, I'd save a heck of a lot by doing it myself. I don't like the idea of taking money away from guys who do this for a living, but when you think of what they charge for an hourly rate, no, sorry. I will take my bike to a shop for work if it's something fairly significant, and I do have one thing on the list that these roads are awful. Oh dear. That I still need to do, and that is several years ago I did purchase a replacement swing arm, because the anodised aluminium swing arm is basically the original swing arm when Babe came out of the factory, is now quite tarnished, and part of the web has actually corroded, not gone through, but it's not looking good. So when Babe goes in for the MOT on Tuesday, I will be asking them to give me a rough idea of what it, I'd basically be giving them the swing arm and say to them, how much would you charge to fit that on the bike for me? Because then I can just bring them the bike, leave it with them, walk around with the swing arm, drop it off and just say, there you go. And basically the shop, the motorcycle mechanic I go to, is the one that I have taken Babe to for years, and it is literally a 5-minute walk from my house. So I will be having that conversation with them on Tuesday, and we'll see what they say. And there will be a third Shakedown ride video. I will be taking Babe out again tomorrow on one of my other favourite routes. So we've just going through Fittleworth now, heading up to in the direction of Petworth. We're not actually going to Petworth. We'll get to the main Petworth Road, and then we will, or I will, I suppose me and Babe, hopefully we'll go in the same direction. We will turn left and head towards Dumpton. So yes, it is a circular route, approximately. But at the moment I haven't had Babe up above about 50-ish, because the roads I was riding on yesterday are all 30s, 40s, 50s. And despite the jaded opinions of many non-motorcycling people, motorcyclists do not habitually break speed limits. Some do, many do not. Oh, they come to a stop and have a look. Yeah, okay. That is a horrible corner, that is so tight. Junction. The back angle from coming to a stop is really rather uncomfortable. Oh, that sunstrike is quite uncomfortable. I think I did mention in the video from yesterday that as I was going through all the various bits, doing servicing and stuff like that on Babe, I was finding rusty bolts and fasteners which, over the years, as I found them, I have replaced with stainless steel. So got a few more of those on the way. Here we go, the Petworth corkscrew. Whee! Turning left down towards Dunkton. That's an odd thing as well. Why have they got a national speed limit sign immediately followed by a whole load of slow marks in the road? Why not just extend the lower speed limit? I don't know. I don't know if it comes out on the camera, but you can see this this handlebar mount here on the right hand handlebar mount. The paint is all peeled off. I don't know if I can get that on the camera clearly. That's one of the things I'm planning on having a whirl at fixing myself. So the absolutely wonderful weather continues. I've come out for this ride in the evening today because I went out mid-afternoon yesterday and it was really rather swelteringly hot. I know some people in some areas of the world will probably look at the temperatures we're having here and go, that's nothing, but as I've said before on several occasions, it's all relative. So that was Dunkton, just coming out the other side, just a little village. About, quite gravelly there, have to watch out for that. About to head up Dunkton Hill over there. Just watch out for the gravel. Here we go, up the hill. Nationals! Oh, channel Teapot 1 for a second there. bend there, so I slowed down. Wasn't going to fully commit to that if there were going to be potholes on the way around. And that's one thing I love about this bike. It's so much torque. Yes, it's a 4-cylinder, and 2-cylinder bikes of equivalent displacement have a lot more torque, a lot more grunt, but they don't rev as high. Oh, excuse me. Basically with Babe you can point it up the hill and it'll just go. Obviously it won't accelerate as fast up the hill in 6th as it will in 4th, but where's Matey Boy and his truck going? Don't think that driver's paying attention. Whoa. Someone had a bit of a liquid lunch today, have they? A bit interesting. So I'd rather they were in front of me than behind me. Yes, I know I could have gone for the overtake there, but I didn't want Matey Boy to decide he's going to cut me off. Feeding in a playful mood, or just feeding in a shitty mood. So yes, I think I am happy that Babe is ready for the MOT. There's nothing I can think of at the moment that might possibly go awry, but I've thought that before and ended up being caught out by something really stupid. I will, before the ride tomorrow, I will go over all the caliper bolts and things like that, make sure they're all as they should be. So I think that's it for now. I shall say yet again thank you for stopping by and taking a look. Hope you're all doing well, and I'll speak to you again in the next one. Cheerio for now. Bye.